working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P, and a lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
There it is. If you did not know, his pick is Kamala Harris. All right, let's unpack this. Because, you know, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but it's so much, so many. So let's try to trim the fat. Let's try to trim the fat and jump in, get in where you fit in. Peanut Gallery. Shout out to the Peanut Gallery. That's our chat. This is either a super smart choice or something that's going or basically shooting himself in the foot, because she has been proven herself to be, unfortunately, I don't know if it's just because she's a black woman or because of her record or because of how she conducted during the primaries, but she's a very polarizing figure. You either like her or you don't. There's no in between. You could be like Stacey Abrams. She all right. You could be like Val Demings. Oh yeah, she's the one that said that thing that time. You can be like Susan Rice. I remember her from the Clinton years, but I don't really know that much about her. You can be that way with everybody else, but with Kamala Harris, it's, man, F that B. It's either that or I love her. There's no in between. So I guess what it came down to with Biden conversation in the last couple of weeks was, it better be a black woman VP. That's all you heard from people, like making demands as if the people that were making those types of demands had any bearing on his choice. But beyond that, it was like, well, which two? Susan Rice, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, the reason why most people would not like her is because of the job she did. Presumably the job that she did as top cop in California, in San Francisco, as an attorney, state's attorney. And people are saying how she presents as black. She's taking advantage of this black positioning. However, people being petty. She got a white husband, and she locked up a lot of people on weak charges, specifically weed in California during the early 2000s. That it could have and should have gone the other way. That's the opinion that people hold of her. The people that like her is like, she's strong. She knows her stuff. She can handle herself, and so which makes her a good choice. But I guess the question is, for the rest of us, do you let those things go? I say yes, but there's some people who can't let that go and be like, well, if she was that way then, who's to say that when she gets in the office, she's still not going to be in the best interest of the black community and look out for the black agenda and all this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know how your man say, was it 45? You know how he say, what do you have to lose? That's his line to black people. You could say the same thing with Kamala Harris. You really could say the same thing. What do you have to lose? I gotta be honest. We talked about it a little bit yesterday, but you can really say the same thing. I guess my one gripe would be, and this is true, and I was going to say this today. Shout out to, I forgot to mention Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer. I was going to mention this today. I said this to myself in the car. No match. This whole scenario, this is the vice presidential race. Remember I said this. This next little 60-day stretch is the vice presidential race. Biden versus Trump will not be entertaining at all, in the least bit. You're not going to run to your TV. But the vice presidential debate, which I think I saw the date, like October 7th, must see fucking TV. She is going to punish Pence. That's a t-shirt. Let me write that down. Punish Pence. She's going to punish Pence. She's going to destroy him in a debate. He's a houseplant. He has the personality of a houseplant. Like, you ever walk past your houseplant and be like, oh, when did I get that? That's his personality. I forgot you was right there. That's him. How she shredded Biden even, and her opponents in the whatever you call those a year ago, those debates. Oh, she's going to destroy. It's nothing he could bring that is going. So that I'm excited about that. I think obviously, as strong as she is, she strengthens Biden. So if you're on the fence, you're like, I don't think he can beat him by himself. But but hey, who's this lady? Yeah, now we got a chance. So I can see that. Here's my only problem, and I'm going to bring in my first guest after I state. Here's my only problem. We're going to talk about this a little later too. And also we got Big Zo talks coming up. My only problem is this issue of foundational blackness, which is an annoying conversation a lot of the time, right? I'm all for it. I understand it. I feel like when people throw it around and start to use it, though, it'd be like, that's not it, right? So the question of her blackness, she's got an Indian father. Y'all can correct me. I don't know the stats. One of her parents is Indian, one of her parents is not. And so the claim of her being a foundational Black American is in question, right? So much like with Barack Obama, who was born in Hawaii, but people say he's an agent and he doesn't have the Black experience and all this and all of that, right? So that's a non-issue for me, a non-factor for me, except Indian mom, Coach Ken, thanks, Indian mom, Jamaican father. That's a non-issue for me. Except and unless, and this is going to pain me because we're going to see it, unless you use that in the run up to the election, and then once you get in, abandon it. Now that I have a supreme, monstrous problem with that, and I feel like we're going to see that. She's going to be blackety black, stepping with her sorors. She's gonna sneak wearing AKA paraphernalia in the press conferences and doing all this and kind of hair tossing and you're gonna see her on all the programs, all the Black programs, and she's be a guest here and guest there, and it's gonna be Howard this and Howard alum that, and then day one, none of that. I'm gonna have a problem with that. You can be non-foundational, you could be ADOS, you could be an immigrant, you can be whatever you want to be. Don't use it and then abandon it when you get in. Then we're going to have, then all those people that y'all say is out their mind and petty and all of that, you will prove those people right. No anti-Black racism. Don't make a mockery of us. Don't use us. Don't do it. So I support it, man. It's again, you can argue both sides, good or bad pick, but like Donald Trump says, in the words of the great Donald Trump, what do you have to lose? So before we get into your organization, what are your immediate thoughts on today's news?
I'm surprised. I thought it was going to be Susan Rice.
Yes.
Because of her national security background, and she seemed to be a little bit more palatable than Kamala Harris. All the news reports you heard about it, there wasn't as many negatives about Susan Rice, particularly as it related to her personality. And politics is all about personality.
Right.
So I'm excited to see how Black folks will mobilize.
So, okay, you're excited to see, but what do you think they're going to do? And I'm talking beyond AKs, because we already know that that's one group of individuals unwavering. Yeah. We already know what side of the fence they are. But what about everybody else? What do you think it'll take to get everybody in step?
I think everybody's just more excited to get Trump out. And I don't know that it really mattered outside of a white woman being on the ticket. I think they want Trump out more than they really care that Kamala Harris was picked or that Elizabeth Warren wasn't chosen.
Right. Oh, I didn't even think about woman. Yeah, that would.
Yeah, but she's going to be Secretary of the Treasury or something like that, so she good.
Well, maybe we'll give Susan Rice. What was she before?
Secretary of State.
Give it to
Secretary
her
of
again.
State.
Can she get it again?
That wasn't her position before.
No, I'm saying get
Oh.
Susan Rice whatever she had before. Just give it to her again.
Just give it to her again. She can be National Security Advisor.
Yeah, let her have.
Do that. Do
again.
that. Yeah.
And get a spot for everybody. You get a spot. You get a spot. Everybody, and then everybody's happy. Everybody that voted for somebody. Andrew Yang, get him a spot.
Yes, get him a spot. Most definitely.
Yeah,
but I appreciate what you just said about the foundation of blackness. Like she can't get up there and ride the AKA wave or ride the Howard University wave and then get in there and take the pin off and take the t-shirt off. No, dog, you gotta rock that for 8 more years because you're going to run for president after you're vice president. So you need to have a pink and green office with Mecca on stenciled on the wall. You need to do that. Have the United States pin with the HU pin and the AKA pin right underneath it. You need to do all of that.
I feel like you got to have a second office or even a guest bedroom like on the yard at Howard. Like it's got to be some direct tie-in to your alma mater. Because when she was running, that's all you heard.
That's all you heard.
At my alma mater, Howard University. Like, nah, you got to keep that up.
Yeah. 50 articles about her being an AKA and interviewing her line sisters and all that. Do that. You're going to need to do it. But I just got finished saying to my sister, nobody better counter program against Howard's homecoming next year. Like it's the wrap. No one's coming. Everyone's going to be at Howard's homecoming next year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They should move it. They should have a special, like the time.
They should.
its own weekend. With her. She's hosting all the parties. She's hosting Yard Fest. She's stepping at Yard Fest.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be a Step Africa. It's going to be at the inauguration ball. It's going to be popping.
But that could happen, though. That actually.
I think it could. I think it could. I think it could happen.
All right, so this is where I'm at, too. I'm happy. I need to do more research on her, but she seems to be a pretty strong and intelligent woman. Well, here's the thing. She definitely is that. She's been that. But when you're that and black, you get other titles, too. You get other tags. You get opinionated. You get ambitious. You get feisty. You get combative. All of which we saw in the debates. But to us, it was like, oh, she holding her own. But her adversaries and her opponents always, you know how people like to do black women. They give them that tag. There's no either or with black women. You're either Kamala Harris or Megan Thee Stallion. Have you ever noticed that? Y'all talk about duality and balance, but I feel like there's no real, from a mainstream perspective, there's no real in between. You're either Kamala Harris or you're Megan Thee Stallion. You're either super intellectual or you're hood ratchet. Let's fight. Let's argue. Let's debate. So you have her opponents. No, but that's real because this is what I'm saying. The reason why I say that back to Kamala Harris. All right, let's stay on task. The reason why I say that is because the media, who you're going to get your information from for the next 10 weeks, that's who's going to skew and try to paint pictures and control narratives and all of that. And if you're not willing to go do your own research, that's time consuming. Who's doing it? And formulate your own opinions, it's going to be easily shaped by those 24-hour news cycle narratives, right? We already saw one headline. That's all they do. They take a headline and it's something that somebody might have thought, and then it's news for the whole day. Is Kamala Harris, this was last week, is Kamala Harris too ambitious? Like, that's even a thing to be in politics. You're competing to win, but the question is, are you too much of a risk because you're too ambitious? Which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But you will only hear that for a black woman in this position. Now, what's the problem with that? Disregard your opponents. Don't even give it any energy. Don't feed into it. Yeah, sure. But if you hear it more than 7 times, the next time you have a conversation, and this happened at work, I'm talking to sane, intelligent black people at work. they said the same thing. They repeated what they saw or read as a headline. They was like, yeah, but I heard she was, too ambitious. And I was like, what does that even mean? So that's why I say we got to be careful, because she'll get the tag of being all those things, which she could be. She could be combative. She could be feisty, because she speaks up and stands her ground in a debate, and her voice might go up. But you don't, those tags don't come to no one else. Donald Trump doesn't get feisty. He gets dumbass, but you don't give him that tag. You don't give an old white man. You don't give Biden honorary. You don't give him combative or dismissive, even when he's being combative and dismissive. We don't do that to them. So that's why I said we just got to be careful not to play into that. Yeah. So I saw you said that earlier. You said your fear is the ambition part.
It's the ambition part, and it's also one part where I believe, and America has shown this consistently, that America is afraid of Black women ambition and Black women being angry. Remember when Michelle Obama said that this is the first time that I'm actually proud of our country? Took it and
ran with it.
And people killed her for that. How dare you do this? How dare you do that? Kamala is going to pull up the skirt on a lot of issues that America has inside of these debates, just like any other candidate. And instead of it coming across as her being informed, it's going to come across as the angry Black woman. And remember I said yesterday, this was my fear of them picking her, is that I don't want them to label her the angry Black woman when what she's actually doing is just simply running for the office that she's trying to win.
Right. And you know why it's dangerous? Because when you get that angry Black woman tag, no matter how empowered, how informed, no matter how liberated you are, guess who's against that? Guess who hates that the most?
Oh, absolutely.
You know who hates that the most? The white man. You know who hates that more than the white man? The white woman.
Correct.
You know who hates that more than both of them combined? The Black man.
Ooh.
So that's, that's what it is.
I just remember the sign that was like the hallmark moment of the Obama campaign, which was that fist bump, right? The New Yorker took that image and dressed them both up like militants and, of course, radical Muslims. And I just don't want that happening to her.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know her personally, but you know me, I want to treat everybody fairly until you show me otherwise. And I feel bad that she's going to get thrown into this. I wonder if she's going to have the fortitude that First Lady Michelle Obama has shown in handling the media, being a Black woman. She's going to have some long conversations with Michelle Obama for real to navigate this world.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a different level.
It's a whole different level. If she was smart, which I hope she is, that would be my first phone call, because that would be can you be my mentor? Can you be off the break? Because she was the best to ever do it, point blank, period. And we've seen Kamala snap at questions. We've seen her snap, just questions. We've seen her go real sister girl in a heartbeat, which is fine and fair. Everybody's not going to hold to the same stereotype, but like you said, and I agree, we don't want that to be the thing that messes you up. Remember, I always say this when I first really started watching politics.
Sure.
I think it was the first Bush. Was it 2000? Do you remember Harold Dean?
Yes.
That's all he did.
And everyone,
he was in the lead, and he got excited and said, "We're on our way to Iowa." Yeah. You have never heard from him since that night, because the media, talking heads, analysts, commentators, they all made it seem like his expression and inability to contain himself in that moment was so irrational and so fugazi that there's no way in the world he could be the leader of the free world. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because he celebrated.
Just one silly polarizing moment, and that's the sound bite forever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we look at Hillary Clinton when she fell into the van. For me, I was like, well, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
or that meme of her being excited by the balloons.
or when she, yeah, yeah. That's all it takes. That's all, and it be memes that take your ass down. It be memes. You can be like, you can not even have witnessed. Yeah, you could not even have witnessed it actually happen. See the meme and be like, oh, this bitch crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then it's over.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.